From the Detroit Free Press, it's Wednesday, June 23rd. Here are today's top stories, presented by Bush's Fresh Food Market. Bush's has over 4,000 Michigan products, including the freshest fruit and vegetables, meat, seafood, and baked goods. Stop by one of Bush's 16 locations for the personal service you expect from your neighborhood grocer.
For the Detroit Free Press, I'm Kristen Seamus. The news is good when it comes to the coronavirus pandemic in the United States. Case rates are continuing to fall, and hospitalizations and deaths from the virus have dwindled. But concern is growing about a new threat to efforts to stop the pandemic. It's a highly contagious variant of the virus known as the Delta variant. The strain originated in India and has spread to more than 80 countries, including the United States. So far, 25 cases of the Delta variant have been confirmed in Michigan. Dr. Anthony Fauci, chief medical advisor to President Joe Biden, said Tuesday that the Delta variant is now doubling in prevalence every 2 weeks, and it accounts for 20.6% of sequenced cases nationally. Not only does the Delta variant spread more easily, but it also is more resistant to monoclonal antibody treatments, and it appears to cause more severe disease. Vaccines are effective against the variant, and health officials urge anyone who has yet to get a COVID-19 vaccine to do so now. 600,000 Americans have already lost their lives in the pandemic. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky said Tuesday that future deaths are preventable with vaccines. To learn more, go to freep.com.
For the Detroit Free Press, this is Georgia Kovanis. A new study by the federal government suggests a link between marijuana and suicide in young adults. The National Institute on Drug Abuse analyzed data for more than 280,000 men and women ages 18 to 35. It found that marijuana users thought about, planned, or attempted suicide more often than those who don't use marijuana. The study looked at two groups of people, those who said they weren't depressed and those who reported dealing with depression. Among those who said they weren't depressed, 7% of non-daily pot users, 9% of daily users, and 14% of those who said they were addicted experienced suicidal thoughts. 3% of those who didn't use marijuana said they contemplated suicide. As for those who reported depression, 44% of non-daily users, 53% of daily users, and half of marijuana addicts said they had suicidal thoughts, compared to 35% who abstained from pot. While researchers aren't saying that marijuana is making people want to kill themselves, they are pointing out that people who use pot are more prone to being suicidal and that the connection warrants more research. For the complete story, go to freep.com.
This is Julie Hines of the Detroit Free Press. Remember 2019 when Hot Girl Summer was playing constantly in the background? Well, 2021 has the potential to be a hot everything summer. Blockbuster movies are returning to theaters. Live concerts are set to resume. Television and streaming shows are back to being a nice part of the mix, not the sole entertainment lifeline. Among the highlights of what could be a sunny, breezy, steaming, and sizzling entertainment summer, Jeff Daniels has a new mini-series debuting September 12th on Showtime. Called American Rust, it's about the police chief of a Rust Belt, Pennsylvania town who is investigating a murder that tests his loyalties. There's also the goofy brilliance of Metro Detroit native Tim Robinson, who's back with a second season of his hit Netflix sketch show, I Think You Should Leave. And if you'd like a cinematic glimpse of Detroit in the mid-1950s, check out Steven Soderbergh's crime drama No Sudden Move. Set and filmed here in 2020, it's out July 1st on HBO Max and stars Don Cheadle, Benicio del Toro, and the Motor City. Come back to the Free Press to read more about the essential things to read, see, and listen to for the summer of 2021.
I'm Andrew Hammond for the Free Press Sports Department. Does Cade Cunningham like Detroit-style pizza? After Tuesday night, that question is going to be asked a few more times. The Detroit Pistons won the NBA draft lottery for the first time in franchise history, and they will be making the number one pick in the upcoming NBA draft. This is not the first time that the Pistons will be selecting in the number one spot. The last time they did, 1970, when they drafted Bob Lanier. Entering the lottery, the Pistons had the second best chances of getting the top pick in the draft, along with the Houston Rockets sitting at number 1 ahead of them. The final 4 teams remaining along with Detroit were the Rockets, Cleveland Cavaliers, and Toronto Raptors. The NBA draft will be held on Thursday, July 29th, and it is expected that Cade Cunningham from Oklahoma State is going to be a Detroit Piston.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. If you're a fan and want to support our quality local journalism, subscribe. Go to freep.com/special offer.